one's ever released a sex tape with you in
Oh, it'd be frightening. It'd be animal rights issues. It'd be like going, oh, it's like Bigfoot jacking off. What is it? What are you doing? What? I think it's him. I'm not sure. Could be a gorilla. I'm not sure.
Nobody saves celebrities with unscripted chaos like Robin Williams. Matt Damon is standing on a stage in Hollywood, hosting a network talk show in front of a live audience. He gets about 4 sentences into the opening monologue, stops, and admits out loud that he has no idea how to do this. He's a movie star, he is not a comedian, and everybody watching can tell. So he takes out his phone and asks it for help.
Do a search for a world-class comedian in the area who might come finish my monologue.
Searching for a world-class comedian in your area. I found one fairly close to you.
Well, great, send him in.
He asks Siri to search for a world-class comedian somewhere in the area who might come and finish the monologue for him. The phone searches. The phone finds one, fairly close by. And Robin Williams walks out. That's the job I want to talk about today. Not the movies, not the Academy Award, the other job. The one where a professional broadcaster's evening is coming apart at the seams, and somebody has to walk in and take the wheel. He did it for Matt Damon. He did it for Craig Ferguson on a night when the sidekick was a robot.
The beautiful Robin Williams. You look sensational. Look at you. You got that fancy shoe. No laces?
None at all.
No laces in your shoes?
I'm an older man now. It's much easier. Velcro.
What is this madness? You can't walk around like that. What if you have to do something quickly?
You do it slowly.
Huh?
You slide around in your little slippers.
He did it for Mike Nichols at a ceremony thrown in Mike Nichols' honor.
And you were born in Berlin, which makes you the funniest German I know. It's kind of like, that's like saying funniest German is like sexiest nun. It's kind of a short list.
He did it to David Letterman before Letterman had finished saying his name.
Ladies and gentlemen, hold on to your hats. Here's Robin Williams. Robin.
I feel it. Sorry, bring out Jose Felicio. I know, Feliciano, forgive me. Singing Blue and in the Wind, all right. Yeah. Sorry, I was possessed. Damn, David, this is a stage for a music hall!
7 different rooms in this video. 7 people who walked in that day with a plan for how the evening would go. Not one of those plans survived contact with him. And there's one stop on this list where the plan he loses is his own. That comes about 8 minutes from now, and I'll tell you right up front, it stops being funny while he's still talking. The night this sidekick was a robot. Let's start in Los Angeles, on the strangest hour of television ever broadcast in America. Craig Ferguson hosted a late-night show where the co-host was a robot, not a metaphor, an actual mechanical puppet in a suit on a stand next to the desk. On the night Robin came in, Ferguson had taken a guest backstage before the show, put him in what he called a pod, and vacuumed his personality out of his body.
Jason Schwartzman here tonight, everybody, is going to be the voice and personality of the robot Jeff. Now, what we'll do is we'll take you backstage, put you in a pod. Your personality is then sucked from your body. Okay. That's not the bad bit.
So it could be installed in the robot for the evening. He warned the man that his beard would probably come off in the process. That is the room Robin Williams walked into.
The beautiful Robin Williams! You look sensational. Look at you. You got that fancy shoe. No laces?
None at all.
No laces in your shoes?
I'm an older man now. It's much easier. Velcro.
What is this madness? You can't walk around like that. What if you have to do something quickly?
You do it slowly.
Huh?
You slide around in your little slippers.
And within 10 seconds, he was dancing with the host. Ferguson noticed his shoes had no laces. Robin explained that he was an older man now, and Velcro was simply easier. Ferguson pointed out that if there were an emergency, he wouldn't be able to run anywhere. Robin agreed. He said he'd do it slowly. He'd slide out in his little slippers and accept whatever came. Then Ferguson congratulated him on getting married. It was Robin's third.
Congratulations on getting married. That's lovely.
It's wonderful. It's
very nice.
Being married for the third time, my best man Bobcat said it's like bringing a burn victim to a fireworks show.
Did he say that during his speech?
Yes.
God bless him. Isn't that lovely?
Isn't that lovely?
Yeah.
Everyone in the room goes, no!
He said his best man, the comedian Bobcat Goldthwait, had described a third wedding as a burn victim deciding to attend a fireworks show. Ferguson asked whether Bobcat said that during the toast. Robin confirmed he did, in front of everyone, out loud. He talked about the honeymoon in Paris. They'd stayed near Notre Dame, and he could not resist doing the hunchback as a bellhop, welcoming them upstairs, telling them not to be afraid, offering to ring the bell if they needed anything. He described a restaurant with 5 tables, one of which had 2 couples and a cat sitting at it eating dinner. In Robin's version, the cat was recommending the mouse.
Like, I went round to his house once in London. The first time I met him, I knocked on the door. It was 10 o'clock in the morning. I was going to have a business meeting with him, and I heard on the intercom, he said, "Come in, breakfast is in the fridge." And I went to the kitchen. It was like a big tall house, and he was at the top of these stairs wearing just a robe. I could see his junk, Peter Cook's junk. And he said, "I repeat, breakfast is in the fridge." And I opened the fridge door, and there was 1 can of hard cider.
Well, that's an alcoholic brunch.
Yeah. Oh, that day we had quite the breakfast. It went on for about a week, that breakfast.
Yeah. That's the immovable feast part 2.
Oh, man. Yeah, he was great, though.
He talked about his heroes, and this is where it gets good. Peter Cook, the British comedian, once knocked on his hotel door in London at 3 in the morning to announce it was time to go out. Another time, Robin arrived at Cook's house at 10 in the morning for a business meeting.
Hey, I just came from Paris. Wow.
Yeah, I went to Paris.
Oh, we went to Paris for the honeymoon. That was.
Oh, that's nice.
I had the honeymoon suite at Notre Dame.
That must have been a surprise.
Yeah, come up here. We go right now. Don't be afraid. If you need anything, just ring the bell. But it was so great. I mean,
very romantic.
Restaurants in Paris are wonderful. I went to a tiny little restaurant. It had 5 tables. At one of the tables, there were 2 couples and a cat sitting eating dinner. Even the cat's going, "Try the mouse. It's fabulous." It's crazy. And then at the end of the meal, again.
Cook shouted down from the top of the stairs in a bathrobe that breakfast was in the refrigerator. Robin opened the refrigerator. There was 1 can of hard cider in it. That was breakfast. And that breakfast, in his telling, went on for about a week. He mentioned that Spike Milligan once went after Peter Sellers with a spoon, and he'd recently phoned Jonathan Winters, the man who made him want to do comedy in the first place, to wish him a happy birthday. He asked what Winters wanted. Winters said he'd like a suitcase full of $1 bills.
Oh, Spike Milligan, Peter Cook.
Yeah, Spike Milligan. Good Lord, yeah. He was crazy.
Big time.
Yeah.
Tried to kill Peter Sellers with a spoon one time.
Did he?
But when after him, I guess they were having it, something went wrong. He went, "I'll kill you! But first, I'm going to dish a little bit out." It was like, oh, Peter Cook, Dudley Moore, God, Spike, Peter Sellers.
They're all British, these comedians.
Oh, but we'll go American. Jonathan Winters. The best.
Oh, yeah. Jonathan's been here.
Oh, has he? Oh, the best.
Yeah.
I called him up the other day and I went, "How are you?" He went, "Oh, God." "Well, it's your birthday. Happy birthday. What do you want?" "I'd love it if you sent a suitcase full of singles."
At the end of the show, Ferguson ran a segment where the guest could win $50 in singles by answering 1 trivia question.
Which brings me to what we can do now, because we're done.
What do we do?
Well, we'll do the big cash prize. You just got married. You probably need some money.
Oh, God, yes.
Well, that's
Thank you.
We'll do
Big cash prize.
Yeah, the big cash prize. Is it $50 in singles? In singles.
Oh,
What do you
man.
think? You want to try it?
No, this is like the old days. Okay.
Yeah.
You get to roll them out. No, okay.
No. Okay. If you win them, all you have to do is you have to have 1 question you have to answer correctly.
Okay, great.
And if you get it right, you get the $50, which I would suggest, in order to placate the audience, is to make it rain, as the kids say. Make it rain.
Make it rain. All right.
Robin got it right. Something about whether the Sydney Opera House was modern or postmodern architecture. Then he stood up and threw all $50 into the air over the audience. Ferguson never got his show back. He didn't seem to want it.
If Robin doesn't win the money, it will not be rain.
So look at the guys over there going, "And you can't go to London."
Yeah. And there will be no Christmas.
Yeah. None for you, little Tom Scratchit.
Yeah. You'll have to work up the chimney on Christmas Day.
No, sir, no! Don't be afraid! There's labour laws now!
All right. Iceland is in the North Atlantic.
Yes.
Its capital city is Reykjavik.
Yes.
Would you say the famed Sydney Opera House is a fine example of modern architecture or postmodern architecture?
I would say a fine example of postmodern architecture.
Make it rain!
The comedian. The phone found. Now back to that stage in Hollywood because the payoff is worth the return trip. Matt Damon has the microphone, the audience, and no material. He puts the phone to his mouth and asks for a world-class comedian in the area. The phone delivers. Robin walks on.
Do a search for a world-class comedian in the area who might come finish my monologue.
Searching for a world-class comedian in your area. I found one fairly close to you.
Well, great. Send him in.
And the first thing he does is thank his fans on Skype. Then he goes to work on the one subject every man in America had a fresh opinion about that year, the telephone. He described an application he claimed to have installed on his own phone. A moral navigation system. It interrupts you at the appropriate moment to mention that the girl you're texting is the same age as your daughter, and then advises you to reroute.
I have a new application on my phone. It's a moral GPS. It's kind of cool. The girl you're texting is the same age as your daughter. Reroute.
He talked about people complaining they only had 1 bar of signal. He pointed out that as an alcoholic, 1 bar was always plenty.
People always complain about their phones. They're saying, like, I've only got 2 bars. Listen, I'm an alcoholic. All I've ever needed was 1 bar. I'm off and running.
He did the voice of the phone mishearing him, then getting insecure and defensive when he searched for a competitor's products, then demanding to know who Emily is.
And sometimes even it sounds like your phone is a little off. You go, Siri, where is the Beacon Theater? Did you say Kevin Bacon was queer? No! But show me what you found. And she sometimes gets insecure. You're going, Siri, where's the nearest electronics store? Are you dissatisfied with my service, Ron? Not at all. Why did you Google Samsung? No reason. Who is Emily? None of your business!
And he claimed the whole thing stops working in France, where the phone simply tells you to put down your device, go outside, and live your life, you American. Then he handed the stage back to Matt Damon and told him that's how you do a monologue.
And it doesn't even work in France. If you go to France, there is no Siri, because maybe they have their own. They have Chérie. You go, Chérie, where's the nearest good restaurant? It's Paris, you idiot. They're everywhere. Put down your digital device. Go outside and live your life, you American ass. Matty Damon!
That is how you do a monologue.
Yeah!
He wasn't promoting a film. He had nothing to sell that night. He came because a man was drowning on live television.
All of a sudden, it was like, welcome back, ass. A week later, I was walking down the street and with like 10 little bottles of Jack Daniels in my pockets. I sounded like a wind chime.
The story he told on a comedy show that stopped being funny. This one starts the same way all the others do. Jon Stewart's show. 2 other legendary comedians already on the couch. Robin comes out, and the first subject is bicycles. He'd taken up cycling in his 60s. Not a stationary bike in a gym, real traffic, on the path along the west side of Manhattan. He said it was the finest way to get around the city ever invented. He also mentioned that a man had recently ridden past him on that path and shouted an insult about the size of his backside.
Riding my bike in New York is amazing, too, because you ride it on the west side bike path. I passed this guy, and all of a sudden he went, way to go, fat ass.
He'd been watching the tourists on the new rental bikes, wobbling down avenues with no helmets, no map, following the street numbers, and hoping for the best. His theory was that there were angels flying along behind them, quietly begging them to be careful.
They're doing wonderfully. That really is this thing. It works itself out. Yeah. All of a sudden you see them, and it's like all of a sudden even angels are flying behind them going, please be careful. But it's very sweet. You're right. It is basically Europeans going, how do I get downtown? Follow the numbers. The numbers get lower. Okay.
Riding in Los Angeles, he said, was considerably more dangerous because everybody there is looking at a screen. And then he told the story that explains what it's like to be famous in California. He got pulled over by a police officer in Los Angeles. The officer came to the window, recognized him, and handed him a screenplay instead of a ticket. Then the officer added that if Robin didn't like it, he could pass it along to Eddie Murphy.
The weird thing is I've been living in L.A. now because of the show.
Yeah.
I don't do very well in it. I got stopped by a cop once in L.A. and he gave me a script instead of a ticket. He was like, you went like, here, Mr. Williams, how are you? And if you don't like this, please give it to Eddie Murphy. Thanks.
The room is laughing. Stewart is laughing. And then the conversation turns to sobriety, and Robin doesn't dodge it. He said he'd gone to rehab in wine country just to keep his options open. Big laugh. Then he described the two voices a man in recovery lives with. There's a higher power, and there's a lower power.
And the lower power has some very specific suggestions about what to send people on your phone.
I thought that they were somehow connected.
Well, I think there's a higher power. There's also a lower power.
Yeah.
There's the lower power that goes, text that girl with you and show her pictures of your junk. It's okay. Yeah. She's not going to share that with anybody.
And then he told them about Alaska. He'd been sober for 20 years, 2 decades. He was up at Alaska working, and he walked into a store, and he saw a small bottle of Jack Daniels on a shelf. He said he told himself it would be fine. He'd be okay. He described the first sip and the feeling that came with it, which he summed up in 2 words. Welcome back.
A week later, he was walking down the street with 10 of those little bottles in his pockets,
and he said he sounded like a wind chime. Nobody laughed at that. He kept going. He explained that the word blackout is wrong. He said it isn't a blackout at all. It's sleepwalking with activities. It's your brain announcing that it's going to do things you will not be present for, and then leaving. You wake up in a field somewhere and ask where you are. Stewart asked him about fear, because Stewart had quit things too, and had been afraid the funny would leave with them. Robin's answer was that the fear is real, and some of it is nonsense, and the only way through is straight through. He said, when you come out the other side, you don't lose it. You go deeper.
And like you said,
Yes.
the fear's there, and you try and overcome it with that. But, if you can deal with the fear and then realize some of it's real, some of it isn't, and then come through that, you get deeper, boss. You get deep.
He was sitting on a comedy show wearing a suit, 3 feet from 2 other comedians, telling a national television audience exactly how far down he had gone. Then he set up the next guy's joke and got out of the way. He spent most of the rest of that segment making Richard Lewis and Norm Macdonald look good. That's the man. Hold that in your head for the rest of this.
Which is a cow valve, which is wonderful because now I can crap standing up. But it's just very, once you have the surgery, it is that weird. I can't eat meat now because if I eat meat, it's like even my heart goes, you're one of us.
A new valve and a very interested gorilla. London, Jonathan Ross's studio. Robin walks out looking better than he had in a long time, and there's a reason for that. He'd nearly run out of road. He explained it plainly. He'd been on tour, 40 cities, a short break, then another 40. He went in for a stress test and lasted about a minute on the treadmill before the doctors stopped and suggested a different test. The kind where a camera travels up into your heart. He said nobody had warned him about the route it takes to get there, and observed that the way to a man's heart apparently runs through his groin.
I was on for 1 minute and they went, okay, great, that was really good. I think we're going to have to do an angiogram, which is where they put a camera, they go to your heart, but they start by going through your groin.
Oh,
yeah, and who knew that the way to a man's heart was through his groin?
They found a failed valve, and then a doctor handed him a menu. He could have a pig valve, which he figured would leave him able to find truffles for the rest of his life. He could have a mechanical one, which ticks. He chose a cow valve. And the advantage of that, as he explained to a British audience on a weeknight, was that he could now do certain things standing up. He added that ever since when he eats a steak, his heart quietly recognizes it as family. Then came the gorilla. There's a famous gorilla who was taught sign language. Robin went to meet her. She looked him over and signed something to her trainer. Robin asked what she'd said. The trainer explained that she would like to take him into the back room. And then the trainer offered a piece of professional advice. If she takes you back there, nobody can help you.
I was once hit on by a gorilla. I met Coco the gorilla, the one who signs.
Oh,
and
Coco.
It was so wonderful. She's very sweet, and she basically signed to her trainer going, I'd like to take him in the back. And the trainer said this, he went, if she takes you back there, I can't help you.
Robin's only conclusion was that it's a strange feeling to discover a gorilla finds you appealing. He talked about having to be waxed for a film, and the technician taking a break partway through, and suggesting they could make crop circles back there if they wanted. He talked about San Francisco, where he lived, arriving as a kid in 1969, seeing fog roll in over the mountains for the first time, and asking his father whether it was poison gas. He explained how locals handle earthquakes, which is to ignore anything under a 5, and order more coffee.
When you live somewhere, you assume it's never going to happen.
You assume it's never going to happen until all of a sudden,
Yeah.
oh! And then you get blasé, like, oh, that was only 4.5.
So you've been there for a few
I've been
of them.
for the smaller ones, like 4.5. Literally, you'd be there and be like,
Ah.
more coffee?
And he described Chicago, where he was born, as the only city in America where the dead are still permitted to vote. Ross barely asked a question in the back half of the show. He ended up just running a game where he shouted random characters at Robin and let him build them on the spot.
What we're looking for then is an arrogant, aristocratic Alsatian. That's a tough one to start with.
I'm not going to lick my own ass. Members of the jury, Mr. Letterman has not committed a crime as much as avoided one. My client has approached many people in his time.
The night he put David Letterman on trial. April 2005, the Ed Sullivan Theater in New York. Letterman is still mid-introduction when Robin walks out, ignores the chair, goes to the front of the stage, and begins addressing an imaginary jury. He tells them that his client, Mr. Letterman, has not so much committed a crime as narrowly avoided one. There is no case. There is no jury. Letterman never got a word in. When Robin finally sat down, the first thing Dave said was, "Congratulations on dodging the legal system one more time, and how good it was to see him on the correct side of the bench." Then Letterman brought up golf. Golf is a quiet sport. That's the entire point. Grown men whisper on television so they don't disturb someone hitting a small white ball. Robin's position was that this is a waste, and the network should hire whoever calls soccer matches in South America to do the Masters instead.
I mean, it is a very quiet sport, like you said. It's always that commentary say, on the third hole now. We're about to go in now. It'll do. I want the guy who does soccer to do golf one time. The ball is rolling, the ball is rolling.
Then he demonstrated. Full volume rolling his R's. Shouting about the ball moving across the green like it was a penalty in the final minute. Working Tiger Woods into it the whole thing in Spanish. Letterman complimented his Spanish afterward. Robin shrugged and said that in California, you pick a language and go. Dave asked what his oldest son was studying. Linguistics. Robin nodded like a proud father, then wondered aloud what a man does with that degree, and answered himself. He opens a sentence repair shop.
Linguistics. Talk about syntax.
And what does one do with a degree in linguistics?
Pretty much you open up a sentence repair shop.
You bring in your broken sentence, he'll have it back to you Thursday. That led to his own father's advice about having a backup profession, specifically welding. Robin actually listened. He signed up for a welding class in college just in case. On the first day, the instructor walked in with one eye and announced to the room that acetylene is nobody's friend.
My father said do that, and I went to a welding class in college just in case, and the guy who taught the welding class came out the first day, he had one eye and went, acetylene is not your friend.
Robin decided right then that the acting would have to work out. Later in that same hour, Letterman changed his tone and asked about Christopher Reeve. Reeve had died 6 months earlier. Robin explained that the two of them were the only students in the advanced program at Juilliard, a 2-year crash course, 2 men, 1 class. Reeve was tall and handsome and had women following him around the building. Robin said he stood off to the side, offering his services to anyone whose taste ran towards small, hairy men. And then he said something almost nobody has ever heard. Reeve fed him. Not as a figure of speech.
But he was great. He was like...
he kind of mentored you or took care of you for a while?
Yeah, he fed me.
Fed you, really?
Literally, I would go over sometimes and I'd be like, are you going to finish that tuna fish?
Robin had no money. He'd go over to Reeve's fourth-floor walk-up and ask whether Reeve was planning to finish that can of tuna fish. That was the arrangement. Reeve later became godfather to Robin's oldest son. Robin told Letterman he had never once believed the man would actually go, and described what it felt like now with a phrase he invented on the spot: phantom friend pain.
I never thought he would go. Mm-hmm. And he'd been through so much and fought so hard that when you found out that he was gone, it's like, no, it's like phantom friend pain.
Right.
And you feel that, that still I feel like I can call him.
The way a man who's lost a limb still feels the limb. He said he keeps thinking he can pick up the phone. The studio went quiet. He didn't reach for a joke, and Letterman didn't ask him to.
You're an amazing guy. It's incredible to work with you. I mean, you're a very brilliant child. Obviously, we've talked about that. A brilliant child. It's rumored that you even had final cut at your own circumcision.
The man who roasted the guest of honor. The American Film Institute gathered to hand Mike Nichols a Lifetime Achievement Award. Nichols directed The Graduate. He had every trophy a director can collect. The room was full of people who came to be respectful. Robin got up and spent nearly the entire speech at Nichols' expense. He opened by telling the audience that if this felt like a telethon on mushrooms, they should enjoy it.
Ladies and gentlemen, Robin Williams.
Those of you right now feel like this is a telethon on mushrooms, enjoy. We've raised over $1.5 million.
He congratulated Nichols on being the funniest German he knew, then noted that this was not a long list.
And you were born in Berlin, which makes you the funniest German I know. It's kind of like, that's like saying funniest German is like sexiest nun. It's kind of a short list.
He suggested that if Nichols had been born in Vienna instead of Berlin, the world would have received a very different musical. He said Nichols was such a brilliant child, he probably negotiated final cut at his own circumcision. He told a story from when the two of them staged Waiting for Godot together. One night, the cast jumped ahead and accidentally removed 25 minutes from the first act.
When we were doing Waiting for Godot, one night we jumped cues and we dropped 25 minutes from the first act. And it's only 40 minutes, so that was like much shorter.
The first act only ran 40. Nichols came backstage at intermission, looked at them, and said, "That was one way to do it." And then, in the last few seconds, he dropped all of it. He told Nichols that after the heart surgery, Nichols had sent him an email, and it had done more for him than any medication.
You're a mensch, which is an old Navajo word. You are a mensch. The best thing, man, after my heart surgery, you sent me this incredible email, and it meant more to me than any medication. So that was a wonderful thing, man. Thank you. Muzzle tough. You deserve it. Enjoy the rest of the rat f***. It's your night, man.
Then he handed the night back. Enjoy the rest of it. It's your night.
Initially, I came in and it just had one voice, and then said, "Do you mind if I try something?" And then 18 hours later and 40 different characters, that's what Aladdin was.
18 hours in a room with no script. One more, and it's the shortest, and it explains everything. Years later, a morning show asked Robin to name a favorite among his own films.
When I think back of all of your films, I have so many favorites. Mm-hmm. Do you have a favorite film of yours that you've done?
I think Dead Poets Society is like...
He said Dead Poets Society. Then he added Aladdin purely for fun, and told them why. He walked into that recording session with one voice on the page. One. He asked the people in the room if they'd mind him trying something. 18 hours later, he had given them roughly 40 different characters. Nobody wrote those. Nobody storyboarded them. A man stood alone in a booth with a microphone and no plan whatsoever, and animators went back and drew a movie around whatever came out of him. They asked him about the Academy Award he won for Good Will Hunting.
All of a sudden, it's your name, and all of a sudden your body and your mind goes into slow motion like, oh no. I look out and there's Jack Nicholson, who's just baked, going, way to go, Rob.
He said the strange part was how quickly it wore off. For about a week, people congratulated him. A month later, strangers on the street were calling him Mork again, the alien from the sitcom he'd done 20 years before. All of it.
The weird thing is, you know, I won the Academy Award, and for like a week afterwards, way to go, Academy Award, and like a month later, it's like, hey, Mork, it was back.
The host laughed and told him he had to let that go. Robin said he still had the doll.
It was like so
How
quick.
quickly people forget.
But it was like, that's in people's memory banks.
Yeah, well, it sure is. Sure is. I mean, I still have the doll.
Serious?
Yeah.
You gotta let it go, girl.
I know, I'm not gonna...
It's kind of wonderful.
There was a Mork doll made in 1979. Rainbow suspenders, red jumpsuit, pull the string, and it talks. A children's toy. And a man with an Oscar on the shelf admitted on live television that he'd kept one, and he wasn't giving it up. What the plan was worth. Here's the thread. Every single person in this video walked into their own building with a plan. Craig Ferguson had a rundown. Matt Damon had a monologue on cards. The American Film Institute had a program printed for the evening. David Letterman had an introduction he never got to finish. Jonathan Ross had questions. None of them made it. And every one of those men would tell you it was the best night they had that year. Because the thing that made Robin Williams dangerous in a room is the same thing that made him worth calling. He didn't arrive with anything. He arrived empty on purpose and built the hour out of whatever was in front of him. A robot, a phone, a golf story, a gorilla, a can of hard cider in Peter Cook's refrigerator. That's not a technique you can copy. It's a nervous system. And it cost him. You heard where it took him in Alaska in a store 20 years into being careful. The same engine that could fill an 18-hour recording session with 40 voices nobody asked for is the engine that doesn't have a brake pedal. He knew that better than anybody. He said it out loud on a comedy show to a room expecting jokes. He gave every one of those nights away to whoever happened to be standing next to him. And when it was over, the man went home and kept a plastic toy from 1979, because being the funniest person alive was never really the point. So here's what I want from you. Out of everybody in this video, Ferguson, Damon Nichols, Letterman, Ross Stewart, which one do you think handled him best? And which one never had a prayer from the second he walked through the door? Tell me down in the comments. I read every one of them. And if there's an appearance you remember that didn't make this list, a talk show, an award show, something you caught once at 11 o'clock at night and never forgot, put it below. The next video gets built from your list.